distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Many governments intervene in all sorts of ways to help their societies and economies. How a small city-state responds to the challenges of globalization. We've decided to embrace globalization, and that means advancing free trade through all avenues. What is critical is to pursue regional and bilateral cooperation within an open architecture that strengthens the links across different regions of the world. Because the more linkages we weave between regions, the less likely the world will break up into inward-looking trading blocs, which will hamper free trade, destroy opportunities, and ultimately undermine the peace and stability of the environment we live in. President's father. We welcome that, and we hope it is the start of. Ultimately, whether a country is big or small, it needs to plug into the global economy, seize the upside, and deal with the downside of globalization. This is our best chance of bringing prosperity and a better life to our peoples. At the same time, regardless of the differences in our history, culture, and background, the countries of the world will have to come together, learn from one another, set aside differences, and tackle our common problems and challenges together. And that is what we hope to do at this Asia-Africa Summit meeting.
In confronting the challenges of the period, in the case of the business rough seas, by protecting economic growth while minimizing, while there's been some softening of oil prices in the past few days. Therefore, in behalf of the Philippines, I take this opportunity to call on the Asia-Africa Summit to do its share in pushing for greater stability in oil prices. I call on the world leaders, including the petroleum exporting countries of Asia and Africa, to offer solutions that will temper the volatility of crude oil prices. Most of the demand for oil and most of the supply of oil come from Asia and Africa. Thus, it's especially important to strengthen cooperation between Asia and Africa at this time. Opportunity to thank Malaysian Prime Minister Abdullah. The lesson of Mindanao for the Philippines is a lesson for our two continents. As we integrate our economies in Asia, Africa, and the world, we must also integrate the basic human values of compassion, tolerance, and social justice. Economic development must always go hand in hand with the development of the human spirit and the liberation of the poor.